Hey there, it's Katie Jarvis with Managing the Mess. I'm a K through 6 elementary art teacher, and during the school year, I teach at a Title I school just outside of Washington, D.C. It's currently summer, and I am working on a series of videos about using responsive classroom in the art room. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about how to create a calm, orderly, predictable routine for the start of your class. With responsive classroom, there's a really big focus on the beginning of the school day, starting out in that way for students. But for us as specialists, we're going to focus in on the beginning of our class. If you're new to responsive classroom or RC, here's what it's about. It is an evidence-based approach to teaching and discipline that focuses on engaging academics, positive community, effective management, and developmental awareness. If you're curious about my specific routines and kind of seeing them in action, I have two different videos. Do you know how to start art, where I'm talking directly to the camera and I'll break down my opening routine. And I have a video where I'm presenting as though there are students within the room and I'm showing you the start of my art class. With responsive classroom, as students come into their classroom for the day, there is a written message there to greet them. So in specials, what I do is I have a little slide that reminds students to sit quietly. So as they're coming in and I'm finding their spot on the carpet, they've got that slide up there with the expectation of what they need to do. When I'm ready to begin the class, I have a signal. I do a little clap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Don't hit clap. And then we do our greeting. Now, in a typical morning meeting that would happen at the beginning of the student's day, if they are in a responsive classroom school, they would greet each other. They may use this as a time to kind of share and connect with each other, but they would individually greet everybody in the classroom and acknowledge them and say good morning. That's very difficult to do with the short amount of time that we have, but I do acknowledge and greet my students. I use the greeting from Cassie Stevens. She is a famous art teacher. If you haven't checked her out yet, definitely do. But she says, "Hello, my most amazing artist." And then she had her students respond, "Hello, my most amazing art teacher." Once we do that, I remind my students of how to sit. So I'm setting really clear expectations for them. So I allow them to sit either crisscross, mountain, or mermaid. And I'm doing this not to be kind of a jerk and say this is exactly how you have to sit, but just to kind of cut out the confusion about what we can do and what we can't do. As far as how to sit or the different rules within my art room, I have a video that I show to my students at the beginning of the year where I act out what to do and what not to do. With responsive classroom, they're very big on modeling and giving really clear and specific directions, and then allowing your students to practice. So if you're doing like I am and you're using, crisscross, mountain, or mermaid as options of how to sit on the carpet, having your students try each one of those out and see which one is comfortable. Responsive classroom is about giving students choices. So you're giving them 3 different options of how they can sit. Doesn't have to be crisscross applesauce all the time. It can be whatever they prefer. The next thing I do actually comes from whole brain teaching, and that is that I have hand motions and I recite the rules with my students. It sounds like it would be boring, but we mix it up and do different voices each and every week to keep it kind of fresh and fun. Again, I've got a whole video about how I teach the rules and those different rule styles as well. I'm going to link that in the description down below to help you out if you're interested in that. Next, I would go over good listening. So I say Mona, they say Lisa. Mona, Lisa. Mona, Lisa. While I'm saying this, it's projected up on the board what the Mona Lisa looks like. And then I'll say, please do a quick body check. Check that your hands are still, your eyes are forward, and your lips are zipped. And I'm doing the same calming routine each and every time so they know what to expect. At that point, I would wait till my students are completely silent, and then I would move on with my lesson. In responsive classroom, I mentioned that students would be greeted in the morning by a little message up on the board. Now, during the morning meeting, so once all the students had arrived at school and they were seated together, they would review and read that message aloud. And it might talk about like what day of the week it is and what special they have that day. It's kind of orienting them of what's going to be going on within that day. Now, for us as specialists, what we can do is write just a quick message in kid-friendly language. And I always start out with this so students kind of know where we're going with this. If they start, just hearing all these directions, they don't quite know what to focus on. But if you say, today we will be making a painting of your neighborhood, then they know, okay, she might be talking about painting techniques and how to clean up and all these things here and there. But I know ultimately where we're going is we're going to be getting a painting done today about a neighborhood. You wouldn't just, have kids get into a school bus and not tell them where you were going on the field trip. You want to kind of let them know what's the end destination. So they kind of be like, okay, I'm here, I'm with you, I'm here for the ride. But along the way, you might be giving, multiple directions of how are we going to create that. In addition to that kid-friendly message that I have up on the board, kind of an objective that I state there, I have this with an example up on my cabinet. So I just took double-sided tape and I have a just binder clip taped on to a piece of laminated construction paper that's taped to the cabinet. And then these are really easy to change out. If a student needs to be redirected as to what the objective is that day, then they can look and refer to the cabinet. This works great if you are being observed, because they might be asking a student, hey, what is it you're trying to do? And the student can refer whomever is there to your objective poster so they can see the example that everybody can see. They can see there in kid-friendly language what it is you're trying to teach for that day. I sure hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure that you like this video and I'll see you in the next one.